We have a special edition of our town hall tonight focusing on building Buffalo. We're going to be talking live with a top executive from M&T Bank as that company debuts its new tech hub, an investment of tens of millions of dollars downtown.
Plus, work is almost done to spruce up the Buffalo airport, what the expansion means for travelers and the Western New York economy.
And a pretty ambitious plan to reshape Buffalo's Scajaquada corridor. We're going to be talking live with the executive director of one of the groups, part of a coalition hoping to reimagine that part of our region. And we're coming on the air with the town hall a little bit early. We thought we were going to be talking with Chuck Todd, Kate. Unfortunately, as tech issues go sometimes, we do not have that interview, but we will, of course, be paying very close attention tonight as President Biden makes his first speech to a joint session of Congress. It's going to be very unique because we are still in the middle of the pandemic, after all.
Right. More to come a little later on. Of course, we know how tech issues can go around here on the town hall, but we are glad that you are with us, even if it is a little early on this Wednesday, especially since we know there are a lot of people who don't watch the news because they think it is too depressing. And we know that because they tell us, especially over the last year, Michael.
Yeah, so today we're really going to focus on some of the positive news in our region and some huge development projects that will impact Western New York for many years to come.
So this half hour, we're going to talk about the region's real estate market, a new plan for the Scajaquada corridor, and a major project at the airport in Cheektowaga. But first, we're going to talk about the transformation of Buffalo's tallest tower. Seneca One was empty just a few years ago, and now, what a change. Yeah, today we got our first look inside M&T Bank's new tech hub. Look at this video. This is the anchor tenant of the tower. It is an incredible space. You probably saw Dave McKinley's report last half hour. This is about more than just the people who are going to be working in this space, though. This is really about an industry that many people believe could help Buffalo continue to grow in that all-important tech sector. It is cool to get a look around, and joining us live right now is Mike Wisler, Chief Information Officer for M&T Bank. He also coordinates so well with the building itself, and we're glad that you're joining us, Mike, tonight. Big day for your company, for sure.
Big day. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to talk about what this means for the region, as we just alluded to there, and the potential that this could help make Western New York kind of a hub for these type of tech jobs. First, though, let's talk specifically about what is behind you right there and really throughout the tower. Walk us through what you unveiled today. I know that it's more than a dozen floors throughout that building, pretty much a third of it in total. What is there?
We've got about 330,000 square feet here in Seneca Tower, which, as you said, was vacant prior to that. We're down on the base floor levels, which is about a 50,000 square foot floor plate. And we do have 11 towers and an entire floor dedicated to our Tech Academy for Learning. What we've done is we've built a space for our own technologists to be able to collaborate in an open. And we hope that not only is this space just for us, but we actually attract more. And as you all know, we've already seen it. We've got 43 North, we've got Odo, and we've got others joining us here.
I want to touch on something that you said there, and it's a question that I think that we kind of need to ask. What exactly are the people hired to work at this tech hub actually going to be doing? You use the term technologists. What is that exactly?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and it's a pretty broad group. We're here to solve problems for our customers primarily. And when you think about the modern bank or the modern company at all, that has a lot to do with technology and data and design experience. And so what you'll see here is small teams, cross-functional teams we call them, that typically are made up of a business leader who owns the product as a consumer might see it, an experienced designer that helps us understand exactly how friction or friction-free as we attempt to an experience might happen, and then oftentimes data engineers, technologists, and others all surrounding a problem. That's who we're going to have here.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and what a space to be able to work in. It makes you really want to get creative and solve those problems. A while back, Mike, I sat down with Douglas Jamal, who of course owns Seneca One Tower that you're in right now, and we talked about the transformation in that building, but also how he thinks that really this could be a catalyst for the city and the entire region. I want to play a small part of that interview. Listen to this.
We're hoping to make this a Google-type campus of technology or Amazon-type campus of technology. So, we're actively out there right now, thanks to M&T's commitment and Mike Wisler for this technology hub, that we have an opportunity. There's a window here in Buffalo that hasn't existed since all the industry is closed down.
And you heard him name drop you there specifically. I know that you have the Tech Academy there, and you mentioned it briefly a moment ago. Is the idea here, you think, that the better Western New York does, the better M&T does, and so this is an investment about more than really just your company? Do you see this leading to big things for our region?
Absolutely. First of all, I think we are all very lucky to have Douglas here. His vision and his values and mission aligns with many of ours, certainly here at M&T. And you're exactly right. What we believe is that we in Buffalo, in our region, along with many other cities, are in a race for relevance, and that relevance is for talent. That talent that needs to be attracted to a place that is mission aligned, values aligned, and where we can use our scarce but special skills to solve problems, to remove friction in people's lives. And we think that by moving downtown here in Seneca, we're going to create the kind of magnetism that will hopefully invite others to join up. If you take a look at other cities that I think that we are competing with across the country, they all have something in common. They all have a space or a part of their city or their region. And I think that we could create something from Canal Side, running all up along Main, through to the medical campus, where we could create a walkable, livable, eat, work, play, collaborate, educate, that's not just M&T, but lots of creative class professionals.
On the subject of talent and problem solving, the pandemic has certainly presented a challenge. It's obviously not over. So what is the time frame as far as trying to get employees back, not just at the Tech Hub, but throughout M&T? When can we expect to see you hit that specific hiring goal of more than 1,000 new positions? And has the pandemic at all shaped how you are approaching all of that?
Yeah, there's a lot in there. First and foremost, safety of everyone is our number one priority, and you've seen us operate with that in mind from the beginning of the pandemic. We've had over 1,000 frontline employees working through the pandemic, while most of us have been able to work from home. We are beginning to bring folks back. In fact, we'll begin bringing folks back into 4 different locations, this being one of them, starting next week. And we're gonna test our way in with safety in mind, testing the distancing protocols and how we can work in a more hybrid way. We still believe that place matters. If you think about this investment, we think about it as a 10, 20, 30-year investment. And so, while we might have lost 6 months or a year of what we had originally intended pre-pandemic, we think that this is a place that is going to be valuable for us and valuable for the community for decades to come, for sure.
Well, Kate and I are going to talk to our general manager about hiring your interior decorator and setting up some of those spaces, because it really does. It looks cool. I know it's functional for you as well. Mike Wisler is the Chief Information Officer for M&T Bank. I know it's a busy day, a big day for M&T. Thanks for coming on and sharing some of your time with us.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. And another major project is also nearing completion. We're talking about that. Work on the $80 million expansion and renovation of the Buffalo Niagara International Airport is on track to be completed in a little more than a month. Yeah, we're looking at some of the visuals of the progress there. The biggest change is the expansion that's happening at both the east and the west ends of the terminal. And the work will really kind of change the way passengers move around the airport, making it easier to get to the terminals for your departing flights and also for arriving passengers as well. These 2 expansions are going to provide kind of a new way for passengers to leave the terminal and get them quickly to awaiting family members, baggage claim, and the parking garage. And we spoke with NFTA Aviation Director Bill Vanacek about that today.
The security checkpoint now will be the only entry in. There will be no exiting through that area. And then the passengers, as they arrive, they'll either go to the east, which is again Southwest, Delta, United, JetBlue, or the west, which is American and Frontier. And the 2 will never come back together. Once they deplane, they're going to be right back into the Sexton concourse and down they go. So, and the really nice part about it is that there's going to be a ton of room on both sides for their for their family and friends to greet them when they get here. And it'll be a much better first impression for people that haven't been to Buffalo than we had before.
The project is also renovating the baggage claim area, and part of this, at least a good chunk of it, is already done. Take a look. They have those flat carousels now, new ones that are able to handle more luggage. They used to be flat. Now you can see they're kind of angled. It definitely, Kate, already is looking like kind of an upgrade that was long overdue, and a lot of the work is happening behind the scenes too. So more to come on that.
It's funny, I'm looking at that and thinking to myself, it's been such a long time since I've gone anywhere and been in an airport.
That's true. I had to fly to Kansas City to cover the bills, so I did go through the airport for that, but you're right. To get back to the airport, it'll be nice.
I know, it struck me, and it'll have a new look too. We're going to look ahead now to tonight's address to Congress from President Joe Biden.
Yeah, we tried to get NBC's Chuck Todd on earlier, as we mentioned to you, but we had some of those technical issues. And so we still want to kind of discuss what we can expect tonight. And for that, Alice Barr has this preview.
The President of the United States.
President Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress will lack his predecessor's grand entries to a packed House. COVID rules shrinking the crowd from 1,600 to 200, with fewer lawmakers, just 2 cabinet members, and Chief Justice John Roberts representing the Supreme Court. Seated behind the president for the first time will be 2 women, Vice President Kamala Harris and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Wonderful to make history. It's about time.
President Biden set to highlight progress against the pandemic and shoring up the economy while outlining his next sweeping spending priority. A nearly $2 trillion American Families Plan that pours billions into education from universal preschool through community college and extends the child tax credit. To pay for it, the president suggests tax hikes on corporations and the wealthy.
We want to invest in our children. We want to invest in our workforce.
Republicans slamming the president's spending proposals totaling roughly $6 trillion from COVID relief to a broader infrastructure plan.
It's like the most radical Washington Democrats have been handed the keys, and they're trying to speed as far left as they can possibly go.
President Biden also expected to touch on the border crisis and racial justice. He'll be calling on Congress to pass the George Floyd Justice in Policing Act that bans practices like chokeholds and makes it easier to prosecute rogue officers. Senator Tim Scott, the Senate's only black Republican, has taken a leading role in negotiations over police reform. He will give the Republican response to the president's speech tonight. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Certainly a lot of ground, Michael, planning to cover tonight.
Yeah, coverage begins at 9 o'clock here on Channel 2, and then we will also have analysis and walk you through some of these proposals and what they mean for Western New York coming up at 11 o'clock tonight.
And I'm sure a lot to talk about in the town hall for the rest of the week as well.
Plenty of content.
And we got more tonight. You know, if you've bought or looked for a new house in Western New York in recent years, then you've probably already noticed this. The prices are going up. We're going to take a look at the housing trends here after the break.
You're watching the Town Hall at 5:30. We'll be back with more right after this.